Here we go. Welcome to Curiosity Public. I'm Dutch.
Jules here.
Dylan.
And welcome to yet another episode of our ultimate spirits competition. Our quest to review every sipping spirit on the face of the planet and subject it to our 100-point scoring system. And we're back with some more tequila, guys. Are you excited?
Always excited.
Yeah, we love doing tequila. We need to do more tequila content. I know that we get a ton of comments on our tequila videos about when are you guys going to do this? When are you guys going to do that?
Catching up.
It just takes us some time, guys. We're trying to do as much as we can. But in this episode, we are going ArteNOM, guys. This is ArteNOM 1146. Look at that box. Wow, I can't even get it all in frame practically because it's so big. Beautiful box. It's got a little handhold here, so you can carry your tequila around with you when you're walking.
Like it.
When you're walking around in the casino, like Dylan does. And then look at this reveal, guys.
It's called a man purse.
Look at that.
Whoa.
There it is.
Hey.
Look at
What?
Look at that. So, Jules, what do you think about the presentation? Just alone.
Looks amazing.
You know,
Top notch.
Get it out of here.
Oh, look at that.
Let's get rid of this guy.
Wait a minute. Is that the same bottle as the Costco Scotch? Like the 22, 23-year Scotch?
It's much nicer. And
It's
check
got a
this out.
medallion.
It's look at that. I just think this is beautiful. So 1146 is the distillery. ArteNOM is kind of like an independent bottler. They work with different distilleries and they have them put out really nice, well-crafted products. They use no additives. They use very traditional methods. They always seek out really well-known and excellent master distillers to work with. This one is was worked with Mr. Fonseca, who puts out some exceptionally good tequilas. And I mean, just really fantastic stuff. I was able to crack into this during one of our lives. And I thought, you know what, it'd be an interesting one to do here on the Ultimate Spirits competition to see how it would end up scoring.
Yeah.
You know, the presentation is so awesome in this. And I missed Jules' birthday, but I got him a bottle
What?
for his late birthday present here.
No.
And then I know that by the time this video comes out, it's gonna be Dylan's birthday.
What?
Dylan,
Double birthday.
Awesome. No, I want this one. You touch this one. Take this one.
so guys, hopefully
Wow, Dutch.
we'll see.
Wow,
Fine, man.
too kind.
We'll see if you guys end up
Wait a
liking it
minute,
or not.
so,
That's so
am I
cool.
supposed to taint the score now?
No.
What if I say this is...
Dude, there's no bottle in here.
I know. I took him out.
Oh,
Whoa,
okay.
look at this.
That would be funny, actually.
Wow.
Dude, thank you so much,
Wow,
Dutch.
that is very generous.
Very
Well,
cool.
Amazing.
hey guys,
Amazing gift, dude.
I bought it for you guys because it already came wrapped in a box, so I'm
That's
just lazy.
true.
And I love the box.
Whoa.
It's sold.
Yeah. You know, it's
Thank
like it's like the blood oath that you love. It always comes in the
In the box.
All right, well,
It doesn't come with a handle.
oh, that's
you
true.
guys can enjoy that later, but let's crack into this one that's already open. It's had a little time to open up.
Yeah.
Dylan, you got some other information for us, though, because there's a
Yeah.
lot more about this. It's got some interesting oak. I know that they use different barrels, so go for
Right. So this is created by, like Dutch said, Master Distiller Enrique Fonseca, town of Tequila, produced using the agave grown in the highlands near Atontoli.
It sounds Italian. Atonte.
Totonilco El Alto.
I can't stop laughing.
The total aging of almost 3 years. First in used Cabernet Franc wine barrels, and then it's in there for 14 months, and then it's laid into toasted American white oak, previously used to age either Canadian whiskey or Tennessee rye whiskey for a minimum of 14 additional months. Stainless steel fermentation with Mendoza wine yeast strains. And like Dutch had mentioned, it is verified additive free. What I love about this is the tequila matchmaker folks.
Nice. So do they get the stamp?
They do have on some of
the
their,
stamp?
on their
On the
newer,
website.
their newer.
Oh, okay.
No, I was trying to show the legs on this.
Yeah, we know.
Oh, that's
I mean, the color is absolutely amazing.
You know what's amazing? Oh my goodness! Now that's a natural leg. That's a natural leg right there.
Yeah.
Can you show that? Oh, this
Yeah.
is fantastic there.
So we should point out that 1146 not only makes the Fuente Seca, which is his stuff, also makes T1 and Tears of Llorona.
Whoa, really?
So
Cool.
keep that in mind. All right, guys. Well, let's get tasting this. Let's give a quick toast. Name your favorite Eddie Murphy movie. Trading
Nash.
Places. What did you say?
I didn't say any.
Oh, come on.
I was still thinking. It's like, what's that movie where he's a cop?
Wow!
Beverly Hills Cop.
Wow! This is you're out.
I know. I fail.
Wait, what did you say?
Pluto Nash.
Oh, I didn't even hear that. I only heard Trading Place.
Well, I actually think Beverly Hills Cop, so.
Really interesting though. It's different.
Yeah. We should point out price point on this. Around 70, I'd say. You can see it as high as like 90, as low as in the 65 range.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Proof point is 100 proof. 80 proof. 40%.
Yeah, I think I got something. It required a little bit more thought here.
I agree. I mean, I feel like I want to talk through this, actually.
Me too.
I got a lot of things that I want to discuss.
Yeah, there's a lot of borderline stuff.
But let's get our initial scores. But first, why don't you tell us about our scoring system?
We do have a 100-point scoring system across 10 categories that include aroma, flavor, body, complexity, balance, finish, uniqueness, drinkability, aesthetics, and value. We do weigh flavor more at 20 points and aesthetics and value at 5 points each. And every other category is 10 points for a total of 100. And you can score a medal in our competition with a score of 60 and up. We go from bronze, silver, gold to diamond.
All right, guys, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
I gave this my initial score before we've had a chance to discuss it. An 88.
Woo! I gave this an 80.
I gave this an 80.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we're not out
Yeah.
of the realm of possibility
No,
here.
yeah,
I definitely want to talk
So
through
it's a
it.
solid
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
Solid gold. All right, let's talk aroma, guys. 8.
I gave it an 8.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from because
We have to talk about the dust.
I got a little confused on the nose.
Exactly.
And I like it,
Me too.
but I couldn't. There was something in here I couldn't place, and I still can't quite place it. And it's
Exactly.
been driving me nuts. And I think that's one of my issues with it.
Yeah,
I-
and I was a bit confused for me, and where I docked it ultimately is because so I at times I get agave, sometimes I wouldn't too as well.
There's not a lot of agave.
There's
on
not
the
a
nose.
lot on the nose, and but I mean, what was there is nice. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm getting like a lot of French oak and butterscotch were the initial stuff that I got.
I was getting
that I wrote down. So
cinnamon
there's
and
some
caramel.
sweet- yeah.
Cinnamon caramel for me.
Yeah, I went back and forth between 7 and an 8.
Yeah, me too,
And
actually.
the reason for that is because I think the Cabernet is masking a lot of the agave and the other aromas that I'm trying to tease out. At times, I felt like I could get it, but the problem is that I couldn't really identify it. So, you know what? I think I'm going to go down to a 7. I think I'm going to go back down to a 7 because I'm still having trouble really
It's hard.
teasing out.
The problem for me is there's the lack of agave.
Yeah, it's just...
I think you're right. I think I'm going to have to do it. I think we're all going to end up here at a 7, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's a very pleasant
It's nice,
aroma,
yeah.
and
It's
it's
a nice
nice to have. It's not It's not an unbalanced
No.
aroma, but the problem is that it also makes it very difficult to identify.
It's mostly a confusing aroma.
Right.
Well, it's almost like with aroma alone, you don't want to categorize
But it's good
it as
though,
tequila,
right? I mean,
agree.
it's sweet.
You know?
There's a sweetness,
Right.
and
And
like
not artificial.
generalized,
Yeah, not artificial.
Yeah, general, very general, sweet aroma that's pleasant and balanced.
Yeah.
And yet, because for us, we are very harsh critics, we want to identify
Exactly.
the specifics.
Okay, well, let's move on to flavor. This is where I thought things came together pretty well. I gave it an 18.
I give it a 17.
I gave it a 16.
Wow. Ooh. See, for me, I got all the stuff I got on the nose. I got the cinnamon, the caramel, and now I got the agave.
Yeah.
And everything kind of came together in this really nice package. I'll talk a little bit in balance how I thought some of it was a little bit mismatched maybe, but I got a lot of flavor components coming through. They were clear, they were distinct, they were easy to pick out. I don't know. I think you guys are a little low on this one, especially you, Dylan. Let's hear it. Jules?
Oh, well, I give it a 17 out of 20. No, you're right. There were a lot there. I think the focus for me was on the dessert side. Really, I was missing. So I wrote down it's like I'm getting a dense Mexican chocolate because there's like a spice component which was really nice. But for me, like
that's only a 17.
But so here's where I knock it off. Like the agave, there was definitely more there than the nose, but it still felt weak.
That's a balance issue.
You know?
That's not a flavor
and I know it
issue.
is a balance issue, but then it's a flavor that's missing. In a sense, right? Because it's like it's not that present.
Before, look, this is what I came across was
Yeah.
like, how we talk about Statesman as baby birthday? To me, this is baby tears. This is all the stuff you get in tears, but it's just
that's a
little
good
bit less,
way to put it.
A little
It's
bit
toned
turned down, a
yeah.
little bit mismatched.
Yeah.
Not the balances aren't quite right, but it's all there. This is a complete package. Dylan, what's it
good
like?
point.
So there are a couple things. Number one, I think if you don't drink tequila a lot, this is an extremely approachable, very, very good tequila. But the problem for me was that number one, I thought the Cabernet component still masked a lot of the agave and kind of the traditional flavors that I look for in a tequila. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
However, everything else was a little bit more muted as a result. Like you brought up tears, and I felt like the tears, even though there are definitely different components of it, everything was just punching through. And you're like, let me focus on this. Oh yeah, it's right there. Let me focus on this. Oh yeah, it's right here. This one, I felt like something was just continually blanketing the flavor profile. And it was hard still to analyze that. I could kind of get the American oak influence, the traditional whiskey flavors, and I can get a hint of the agave. But man, that Cabernet, especially like that, we always talk about that French oak style, that soft, buttery feel. That's the thing I couldn't get away from. And I know that this has no additives, and yet that's the part.
Yeah, that's body though. You're
It's funny because here's what's funny.
Because
Dylan's explanation's convincing me to go up a point.
I agree. Everything you're saying is
Because it's like, oh my god, you're right. There is that
you're bringing the wrong
influence,
things into this
and
category.
it's there, and it's actually
it's part of
adding
the
to
flavor.
that flavor.
It's part of the
I
flavor.
disagree.
Yeah, but it's not detracting from
It's not detracting from it. Exactly. It's adding.
So
to it.
I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm going up actually.
Maybe I'm more of a traditionalist then in that sense.
Maybe.
I think that I don't know the Cabernet. Is
I still think you're at least
dude,
a point too low on
Well,
that.
I'll think about it.
Everything you mentioned, I mean, that's actually an abundance
That's what
of
you gave
flavors.
Sincoro, I think.
Right, and that's why I was looking at, well, what's actually being removed from this? And
That's what I think.
even if it is toned down, muted, it's still all there. So I
Right.
can't
And I
knock
think
it for that.
the
And
shortcomings,
that is where the
the shortcomings you guys
balance,
are all talking about, I think, are in balance.
Yeah, no, you're right. I
And
think.
maybe even complexity. So let's keep moving, guys. Body. I thought the mouthfeel was really nice. I give it an 8.
Me too. 8.
I give it an 8.
Hey.
So we agree there. Yeah, I mean
it's just right.
buttery. It's
Yeah.
the legs are great on this thing. You can taste it. It coats your mouth really nicely. Yeah, no
No
disagreement.
drying effect.
sure.
None of that.
Yeah,
so.
despite the Cabernet.
Right, despite the Cabernet.
Complexity. I attributed most of the issues that you're talking about to balance, not complexity. I left complexity to 9. I thought there's a lot coming through.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think so. I gave it an 8 originally, but I am convinced that it is worth a 9, and that I think the issues I had with it are balance.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns with the flavor. I gave it a 7 for complexity, but I think that's way too low.
I think you're
Yeah,
right.
I think that's way too low. I am.
You're
gonna
talking about
increase it.
balance.
Yeah, I'm gonna increase it to 8. Yeah, and I think that's much more fair. Again, there's a lot to
There's a lot to
tease
digest
out.
in this,
However, it is not a 9 and 10 because I still think that the Cabernet is slightly overwhelming.
It didn't hit my palate.
And it's
I don't
hard.
know.
It's not even about the balance because it's a little overwhelming. The complex flavor that could have come out and punched through didn't. I mean, there's a lot of Cabernet there.
But it's still
There's a lot of
there. I
Cabernet.
mean, at least I'm getting
I was
it.
able to get it.
I don't know,
too.
man.
It
There's a
didn't- it
lot
didn't
of
mask it for
Cabernet
me.
there.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, let's move on to what we're talking about, balance. I originally had an 8, and as I was thinking through this, discussing it with you, I did go down to a 7.
Yeah, I originally had a 7, and as we were discussing it with other characters, I dropped down to a 6.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't go that low. I don't think anything makes it off-putting. I just think that there's
Oh, it's not off-putting. I think it's
because
just,
of that cab influence, you get a little bit of bitterness from the agave. That was the only reason. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not off-putting. I just think like it's heavily focused on the
6 is
Cabernet.
just barely above average. You really think that this is
the
just
other
barely...
tequila-centric flavors weren't punching through. I mean,
what'd
it's
you-
exactly
what'd you
what
give it,
Dylan said before.
Did you say tequila? All right. So anyway,
Tequila.
so I went up on the complexity, and I'm gonna go down on the balance. So I gave it a 7.
Okay. So, yeah, we agree on that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think I got to take issue with the 6. I mean, a 6 is pretty low.
You know, I gotta say,
balance is like 5, right? Like 5 is the minimum. This is just right above it because the problem is what Dylan had talked before
it's that
with the
mismatched.
flavors is, the Cabernet influence is
I think it's that
really
mismatched.
strong.
I think it's minimal.
you're convincing me to go down to a 6.
Jeez.
It's really strong. It's everything you had said
I want you
before.
guys,
with
you guys
the
remember
flavor
what you scored
and the
Sikora. That's all I got to
complexity.
say, because you guys are losing your minds here.
Yeah. Anyway.
Let's go to finish. I liked the finish, didn't love it. I was at a soft 8.
Yeah, I was at a strong 7, mostly
I can
because
see
there
that.
were times when... Oh, cool.
Strong 7.
Yeah,
strong
where
7. I see that.
it would finish early too. Sometimes it felt muted. Other times I would actually get different flavors.
But I realized as I was going in for like my third sip that I still had this lingering flavor of the cinnamon in my throat, and I was like, okay, that's why it's an 8, not a 7.
I got like a lot of the Cabernet influence on the
That's
finish.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and that's
right.
where it was really affecting it for me. You know,
Yeah.
and to where it. That's why I said like different times it'd be actually very drying from that. So
Okay, guys, let's move on to uniqueness. Kind of because of everything we've said, this to me it stands apart in tequila. I give it a 9.
I give it a 9.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go
I mean,
up
it
because I
is
gave it
extremely
an 8,
unique.
and it is extremely. Yeah, no, you guys are right.
Unanimity.
What I love, unanimity.
I really gotta
What
check
I
my
love is the different influences from the
Yeah.
barrels.
Yeah.
And as much as we criticize how much of that influence, contributed to the flavor profile, that in itself is still unique. So
Fair points.
for sure.
Okay, guys, drinkability. I want to discuss this one. I gave it a 10 because I was looking forward to every sip I was taking. Partly because I wanted to continue to tease things out. Partly because I felt like there were flavors I still wanted to work on and identify. So talk to me. What'd you guys
I
give?
give it an 8.
Yeah. Initially, I gave it a 10 because it was going down so fast, right?
Yeah.
And then I brought it down to 8 because once again, like the Cabernet component was just kind of overwhelming, and I said, do I want to just grab a cab? And then, but ultimately, I think I'm gonna average that out and end it in 9.
Because you will go back to this.
I'm definitely going back to this. This is one of those like wonderful background tequila drinks. It is a wonderful summer drink. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be sipping on this.
I don't know about a background, only because I actually
either.
like to focus on it because there's a lot happening and like at different levels.
But I think it could be
Yeah,
both.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what I like, though. That's what I like about it. Is it could be both. It could be one you sit there and focus on, or it's so palatable.
Yeah, it's
you can
true.
just keep sipping it. It goes down really easy.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I'm still
sure.
going to stick with my 8, mostly because of, again, I think a lot of it was that cab influence, because when the cab hit me stronger, a lot of times, it's it's similar to Dylan, where it's like, maybe I should just get a cab bottle, you know?
Okay, guys, aesthetics. I really like this. I give it a 5. I have no complaints about the
I give it a 5.
I give it a
too.
5.
Yeah.
This is
The total package,
wonderful
right
presentation.
there. 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean,
the bottle looks great, despite what Dylan said earlier. the box is awesome.
The box is well made, too.
Well made.
Yeah.
So thoughtful. Comes with a handle.
Right.
Yeah, and I like the fact that there's a decent amount of information on the bottle. I mean, you got a map on the back. You got all kinds of stuff. I mean, this
I
is
didn't even
just
see
really,
that before.
I think, a great presentation. Fantastic. And a great color on this. And you know it's a natural color. That's equally impressive.
And it's been certified.
Yeah.
No additives. So.
Okay, guys, value. I think at the price I paid, which was $64, I think, a bottle. You can't beat that. That's a 5.
I give it a 5 too, despite the range. So obviously a steal, I think, in the 60s range. I'd go high as 80s, mid 80s even and stuff, and still comfortable.
With the way tequila is, though, they could have priced this at $100. No,
totally
no question.
easily get away
Dylan,
with it.
your score?
I was going back and forth between a 4 and a 5. This is definitely a value. How much of a value this is, it's really dependent on do you like the flavor profile? Do you love the kind of the independent bottler story and how they're trying to present each, the distillery and things like that? Ultimately, I ended up in a 5 because of the price, the kind of the very interesting aging process, and how drinkable it is at that price.
I think you could, in theory, knock it on availability, but it's not that hard to find.
I've seen it though. Yeah. That's the thing.
And you can order it online.
And what I like about this is that this is what I was thinking about. For that price, what can I replace it with to provide a similar type of experience? There's not much.
Tears is one of the
only. Tears would be at 3 times the price.
This price, and so I had to bump it up to a 5.
I mean, no, you hit it on the head with it's
baby tears.
Yeah, it's a baby tears, dude. I mean, that's genius. That's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, that was my first thought with it. Okay, guys, let's get our score tallies here.
I need to double check
our math.
Yeah.
Okay, and by the way, for our members, stay tuned because we are going to do a quick side-by-side with this and Tears of Llorona. So you don't want to miss that. You got to be a member. You got to be a member to see that.
Adult Tears.
Okay, so my final score, 86.
82.
And I ultimately ended up at 81.
Which gives us our official Curiosity Public Ultimate Spirits Competition score for ArteNOM 1146.
Not enough, or is it enough?
An 83.
Oh, no bump in the leaderboard?
No, does not make it to the leaderboard.
Leaderboard low right now is 85.
Okay, guys, so 83, fantastic score. Definitely a gold.
Very interesting.
Well deserving.
I am very happy this is on my bar shelf. Thank you, Dutch.
There you go.
Thank you, Dutch.
I gave you guys a gold medal, see? You didn't even know that. I didn't even know that ahead of time.
Yeah.
I just knew that
You gave us gold. What a birthday gift.
All right, Jules, take us out.
Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you like this episode. Subscribe for more videos from Curiosity Public. Hit that bell icon to be reminded when new videos are uploaded. Also, you want to help the channel out? No, check out Curiosity Private membership program on YouTube. Check out our podcast on all the major podcast platforms out there. We are selling t-shirts. There's a link in the description down below. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy.
Stay curious.
This one definitely going back because. Man,
well, I ended up buying a case.
Yeah,
because I went to.
That totally
and they had it on sale for like $63.50 or something like that. And I was like, I grabbed like 3 bottles, and the guy's like, "Why'd you buy a case?
Yeah,
it's such a good price." I'm like, "You're right. What kind of deal will you give me?" He's like, "I mean, I can't get over the price point. First of all, I mean,
it's so
bang
smooth.
for the buck.
It's so smooth.
There's no other añejo that comes down like this, except when you get to things like that are tears level, you know."
Right.
Okay, we got to do the comparison.
Head to head?
Yeah, let's
all right,
go.
Let's do it.